Well, it's been a strange old 10 overs for the West Indies. First and foremost, the big news, they've got past 55 without losing a single wicket, and that too in the first 10 overs. That's only the one good part of it. They've had Evan Lewis, who himself has got to a half century inside 10 overs. But the reason why they're not 80 or 90 without loss is because at the other end, it's been a struggle for Lendl Simmons. Not a single boundary, 12 of 27 deliveries at the halfway mark, and that's been a bit of a struggle here on Cricbuzz Comm Box, just assessing the first 10 overs for the West Indies against South Africa. In the company of Joy Bhattacharjya, yes, of course, the 55 is going to be a blip. But the way Lendl Simmons has played at one end, they should be at least another 30 runs without having lost a wicket.
Absolutely. I don't know what they're doing out there. And I was just half joking on Twitter that, that they might just have dropped him on purpose because he was, I think, 7 of 19, 12 or 11, 12 or 13, 19 balls then, and then he's just continued at the same rate. Really, it's paradoxical given the fact of the number of big hitters sitting in the pavilion. There's Chris Gale out there, who's probably the greatest opener in T20 history. And him not coming in there, Shimron Hetmeyer. I mean, what are they doing? I mean, they must have instructions, must have gone out. Somebody can easily, send gloves and send a message. What is he doing out there? Just absolutely very difficult to understand. Especially because in the first 6, the ball is the hardest and it's easiest to hit.
Yeah, I mean, it's been that eternal debate in West Indies, whether it's for the national side or whether it's for whichever franchise someone like Chris Gale plays for. He batted at 3 when he came to India. He was batting at 3 even for the Patriots, who went on to win the league, but it didn't matter. It kind of got hidden because Devon Thomas and Evan Lewis were giving them good starts, and Evan Lewis got 100. But in reality, Gale or any of those guys out there, as you said, Joy, if you look at that envious batting lineup, people would be queuing up to be in that team. And here you've got someone who's just eating up balls.
Yeah, I mean, this guy has been playing T20 International for 14 years, but he's really not the player in form right now. And maybe this 55 has scared them a bit, but they could have got in Royston Joyce and just put in Gale as opener and played him in the middle order. And whatever they're thinking about, I know it's working for them, but it's working for them because Evan Lewis is playing an absolute blinder at the other end. And he's picking the ball, he's hitting them beautifully. The left arm spinner is really suffering with him because he's just bowling into him. I think it works totally. And I don't understand why they're giving him a third over, Keshav Maharaj, at this stage. I mean, they could have easily given Shamsi another over. But anyway, it's one of the things they need to look at.
Interesting Freudian slip from you, Joy. You called him Royston Choice instead of Chase. But yeah, he should have been the choice for this particular 11. Let's have a look at South Africa's bowling for the moment. And just have a look at Adrian Markram, who came in maybe 1 over too many. You tend to get tempted.
Yeah, absolutely. I always see that happen all the time. 2 overs, he gave away 10 runs, and the last over, he just absolutely went. This always happens at 1 extra. All captains get greedy. And to get greedy in the top 6 is something which is not easy. And I think we've just managed to do the commentator's curse. We managed to get ourselves a wicket.
Yes, it is. Evan Lewis is the man who's gone. And West Indies would have hoped it would be Lendl Simmons, but it is Evan Lewis after a stunning innings of 56 of just 35 deliveries, falling to Keshav Maharaj. Yes, maybe that 1 over extra for Maharaj was a better blessing than the 1 over extra for Aiden Markram. But it really is the back end, Joy. It's going to be the test of the quality of Rabada and Nokia, as well as how Shamsi can finish off against that middle order, who may not like to spin so much.
Absolutely. I think Shamsi against the middle order is the key because all of these guys now don't have time to settle. They've got to, they can take 2 or 3 singles, but then they need to start hitting, which means Shamsi, it's an ideal situation for Shamsi to come in. If the West Indies in this situation had been 95 for 1, maybe they would have given themselves a few more balls to get themselves into place. At this point in time, because of Markram's over, and I know that he suffered because of the last over, but because he's done that, they suddenly have a huge amount of flexibility. Basically, between him and Pretorius, they've got to get 1 over away. All the others are class bowlers.
Now, in terms of the batting order, with the back end to come, we know Nicholas Pooran has had a few issues with form. You've got someone like Andre Russell. You've got Kieron Pollard. What would you look at as your ideal batting order? They've sent Nicholas Pooran at 3, but would you maybe have liked to have seen just someone going in there and stepping on the gas more?
Yeah, look, I think they would have given Pooran a permission. I think what they're doing today is going left, right. So expect if Simmons get out, expect Russell to walk in immediately. If Puran gets out, then it's going to be Hetmeyer or Gale who's going to walk out. I think Gale at this stage is more unlikely simply because Gale just does like those 3, 4, 5, 6 balls. And he's particularly vulnerable to that leg spin option that they're going to play today right now.
Well, even as we speak, Lendl Simmons has eked out another 2 lovely dot deliveries to make himself 13 of 30 at the end of 11 overs. But just to wrap up Cricbuzz Comm Box, in terms of a score right now, 74 for 1 in 11 overs. West Indies will tell themselves we've had a blistering half century, but we don't have enough yet.
We don't have enough yet, and it doesn't look that bad a pitch. It just doesn't look that bad a pitch. And the West Indies' strength is their batting, not their bowling. They have some decent spinners out here, but they'd say that, to make this game safe, they would have liked 170, 75. They'd probably end up closer to that 155, 160, unless somebody again plays a blinder. And knowing this West Indies team, that's always a possibility.
Yeah, that's what they tend to do. We talked about a few teams like that. Mumbai as a franchise used to do it. Can West Indies pull that off? Pollard's very much part of that. Russell to come, Gale to come, Hetmeyer to come. There should be fireworks. But Lendl Simmons has to open the door and let somebody in. We'll see what happens in the next few overs. We'll see you at the end. For now, that's all from Cricbuzz Comm Box.